Howdy, it's me. That's right, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system. Located underneath the art villa, the former outfit. Anyway, I'm here. What are you coughing for? Well, just start off with the woe and misery. Last Sunday, granted last week I kind of felt a little bit tired, a little bit off, like Sunday though, you know, I was feeling a little but I went out and I ran. I took my little Fitbit, which I don't have on right now, and I ran a 4.5 to 5 mile loop because I accidentally, it was kind of cold and the Fitbit's got that plastic, and this is not the woe and misery. It sounds like it. So the wrist was sweating and it was kind of cold, and I didn't have the jacket that kind of, and I punched the pause thing, so I didn't get the whole mileage, but it was between 4 and 5 miles. And I got home and I felt good. I did a good job on the jog. Felt pretty good about it, and got home, and then at about 8 o'clock I went, you know, the Grim Reaper is closing in. You know, I was at like January the 2nd or something like that. The 1st maybe even, I don't remember. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year. How many of you guys stayed up until 12 to see, you know, if anything would blow up anywhere in the world? I always do. Stay up. I give it about 5 minutes because I figure terrorists are pretty punctual. They want to blow something up, they're going to do it right at the peak ratings moment. Nothing blew up. So anyway, so then Sunday night, I'm feeling, the Grim Reaper. And I got the damn flu. I couldn't do anything for a week. I literally, the truck was in the driveway from Saturday. Sunday I didn't go anywhere. I didn't have any reason to. Although I should have, just to celebrate the last day I would drive for an entire week. Until today, Saturday. Sat in the driveway. It was horrible. As usual, I've had the flu before now. In November, I was going to say, I hardly ever get colds anymore. I used to get them all the time because I was under such duress. Stress, I think, is a factor. So I haven't had a flu in a long time, and a cold I must never hardly ever get, but I got one. I always used to think the flu was a cold, frankly. But I had this really mild. It was like, 3 weeks, like, oh, Jesus. I could still do it, most everything, but it was like achy, tired, sniffly, like, But the flu, you can't. It's better. And I used to work, so obviously I worked like right through the flu many times. But that's not, the best thing to do is not to do that. It's just to stay the heck home. Even though it feels like every day I'm like texting my boss, you know, like texting there, I used the word. And I did the action. I think it's going to be another day. And well, okay. And I finally said, maybe I'll come in Friday. He goes, no! Just keep your damn ass home and don't come in and infect us. So anyway, there you go. So I decided to get up and go to yoga today, just because I had to. I'd have to go get groceries, right? So kind of stuffed up a little bit. So anyway, today, Saturday, would be the first Saturday, right? Okay. So the first, it would be like a New Year's resolution Saturday, because the gym was packed. There had to be a reason why all of a sudden the gym was packed. I walked up, after yoga, I walked up the stairs to where the treadmills were, because I'm going to use the riding bicycle where you sit down, because I figured at least I could sit down and pedal for a while. I had that much energy. And all the treadmills were completely, there was a person on every one, like, I thought the floor was going to collapse, you know, so much vibration from all the jogging. New Year's resolution Saturday. It'll thin out from here on out, I guarantee you. And by the end of the that's now. Let me ask you: does anybody out there make New Year's resolutions for yourself? I've never have, because I've always considered a resolution to be nothing more than New Year's wish. It's like a prayer, a wish for the future. Like, I wish I would lose weight, or please God help me lose weight. or exercise or something, you know. It's not, there's no commitment behind it. It's just, you just hope something happens to you. Well, that would be I hope I win the lottery. Well, see, I won't even go out and buy a lottery ticket. I hope I find a lottery ticket in the street and it's a winning ticket. Please God, that would be my New Year's resolution. And make it for more than $1, you know. Like, you know, a couple thousand, no more than a couple $1,000s, and a couple $1 million. No, at 60 years old, if I won a lottery, I think I invite everybody that watched my YouTube video and to like one of those parties where I would rent an island and, you know, have I don't know, a popular entertainer in. Do I know any names? No, I don't. Most of the popular entertainers I know are dead. Julie London, that would be on the list. We'd have to get a musically oriented spiritualist in. Preferably a woman who could sing, because I'd rather a woman who could sing a little bit, channel Julie London like a hairy old guy wearing a sparkly gold turban, you know, with wrapped in a shawl like in a trance. Oh, Julie London, here she comes. Oh, that would be horrible. Anyway, I've got a few records. Why? Because before I got sick, I found a couple of records. And then why did I do? I just, oh, wait, I'll do it tomorrow. Never wait, because you'll be sick tomorrow and you can't do anything. Okay. Oh, so what else is going on? Not much, because you're sick. Oh, there was one thing that I accomplished while I was sick. Frankly, couldn't even sit in front of the computer like just to do Facebook. Like, oh God, Facebook. You can't even do Facebook. You're really sick. That's okay. So I'm back to like, why would you even do Facebook? I don't know. Somebody asked me, who was it? Somebody left a message. When Bert's fans can't find Bert, they come here. Like, what's Bert up to? I don't know. He's not in my basement. Only reason I know Bert's okay is because he was a Facebook friend up until about 2-3 weeks ago, when he got like, he gets so angry. He gets angry. Bert, are you out there? He gets angry at everybody. Well, not everybody. Like at least 50% of the people he knows or suspects that are not in the same mindset, and or you know, like people, you know, I get like that, but I kind of like, oh, it's kind of like a weird, I'm being pressured to be, you know, to be angry, so I try to not be angry anyway. So he's gone on to do other things anyway. Maybe he's not angry anymore. That would be nice. I don't want anybody to be angry. All right. So where was that going? Oh, that's right. So I click on Netflix because I'm home. I gotta watch, and there's plenty of stuff I still got to work through things. But some of the things, episodes, episodic TV, my wife and I are watching. So I don't like, oh, I didn't want to watch something and then come. She goes, I don't remember this part. I'm like, oh, I skipped ahead a couple of chapters. I would never say that, but I would be like, oh, I skipped ahead. She missed the chapters. I wouldn't want to ruin it for her, so I don't do that. So I got Amazon Prime because of the shipping. I highly recommend it. Amazon, whatever they're doing, trying to keep business and the free shipping, at least for me. Like, I ordered honey the other day, a 3-pound jar of honey I ordered, raw and filtered honey, because I was buying it at the store. I thought, let's look some up. I can't really. They don't ship the kind I buy in Prime, and kind of expensive. And I found some other choices, which may be just as good. So I ordered it, and 2-day shipping. It should be here tomorrow. Shipping on Sunday. That's right. So anyway, so there's videos. So you can click on videos, and I always hated the Amazon interface on the television. It was just all mainly because you go in, and it's really hard to go through. For some reason, it's easy. The way Netflix feeds you suggestions. Still, if you have to do a search, you have to do a search, but then you have to have a movie idea in your head, and I never do. It's always just sort of a serendipitous picking of there's a cover, there's a naked woman, and there's flames and trucks turning over, machine guns and robots and rocket ships, and you know, good stuff that you want to see in a movie. Right there, a little picture of it, you can see it. And the Amazon pictures were always a little bit smaller. They never gave you a lot of choices. The way the choices were stacked up, it's kind of clumsy and get through them. And then, you know what? option button and all this, just never, and then you would click and you would go to the thing I still can't make work, is when you click and you go and the movie comes up, then you can actually see, with my eyes, see the graphic that illustrates the advertisement for the movie, and then there's a little description, which is actually probably better than Netflix description, but they cut it off and you got to scroll up. I don't know how to do that with this stupid control I've got. I can never make it scroll up. So I was like, fuck you. Oh, man. Oh! That would be an easy. I could say, I resolve in 2017 never to say the word fuck in a video anymore. But yeah, but you promised not to do that back in 2012. That's right, I did. Okay. So I can't make it do that. But then after about 4 days of being sick and just like struggling to find movies, and I've watched a couple of movies I've seen before that I wanted to see again. No Country for Old Men, the Tommy Lee Jones, what's his face? I can't remember. The other guy, I don't know him either. But that's a fabulous movie. It has what it takes to be a classic movie. I think it will stay good for a long time. The acting's so good, and the story just is kind of like just gripping. You know, because there's cars that catch on fire, and there's guys that shoot guys and stuff, you know. And then I wanted to watch Interstellar again. I remember not liking that movie when it first came out. People were like, oh, what? You love science fiction movies. You hate Interstellar? Why? I loved it. I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I couldn't figure out why. I just didn't, like, care for it. So, the second time through, it's been a while now since that's been released. The second time through, you know, watching it a little bit differently, you know, not just, you're more narrowly focused when you watch me the first time, you know, you're trying to absorb everything kind of in a narrowly, so the second time you watch it, you know, it's kind of what, so you can kind of like catch peripheral stuff, but anyway, I noticed the music sounded kind of rinky-dink here and there, and that's one of my main complaints, is people come up with a good idea and they try to do everything right, and then, oh, we're out of money, we need a soundtrack. And they hire some guy with a little keyboard, you know, they plug into the wall, and they're like little daisies and unicorns on the keys, you know, all he could afford was a children's keyboard. But no, I mean, it doesn't sound, that was one thing. Like, I'm just trying to think now, and there's this, oh, I remember, the thing, it was just like a classic thing when you were a kid and you were watching a science fiction movie, and then the hero in the spaceship comes out, and there's the you know, of course, the woman scientist that comes with him, you know, and that was always okay, but then there was always that moment where he would clumsily try to do something to her, and she would be like, but she really wanted him to, and like, oh, they would kiss or something like that. As a kid, you're like, get to the monsters. But they did that in this movie. I really, so they were in the spaceship and something was happening and everything. It's like, it's so fantastic. The situation they're in is so fantastic. How do they even describe it or talk about it? Or fix anything that could go wrong? I mean, it's like so completely out of their hands that this slip into the time stream crap that they talk about the power of love. Like, oh, maybe we don't understand love. What do you mean you don't understand love? You're in this spaceship that you know is going to go through a wormhole. You know how that works, apparently, I guess, to some extent. And just like, you're in trouble now and you're like falling back in the power of love. Maybe you don't understand it. Maybe it's stronger than any human. They fell back on the love thing. Now, that, granted, they didn't do the love thing between the two. That was good. They didn't, oh, now we love each other, and there's like a sparkler goes off. In the B movie would have been a sparkler, and they would have flashed the lights. The guy with the plug, you know, would have flashed the lights. That would have been the special effects. They didn't do that, granted. And the love interest, there was a love interest, but it wasn't the two people talking about the power of love. Well, that was the reason, oh, they put the woman, that's it. Oh. Why did they make that? It was so wrong to do that. So they're on the first planet, and because of the time thing, you know, like the folding, they did the folding paper with the pencil as the illustration, but because of the time plane, if they went to the planet, because they didn't know which planet to go to, so they go to the first one, and it's a water cover planet, but they can only be there so long because every tick of the clock is like every minute is a year, some horrible thing. So they can only stay there a little bit of time. But then the woman's like, oh, I gotta go out and get something. He's like, hey, you know, we gotta get going. And here's a giant wave coming. And she's, no, I'll just be getting this thing. And I see the giant wave. I don't care because I gotta get the thing because I don't know where the people are or something. And he's like, what? Get in. And then they can't take off because the water like clogs the engines and stuff. So it's like, great, now we're here because of you trying to do something for the power of love. I don't know. And if that's like, okay, well, you kind of like, well, you know, you got to wrestle probably still even the future with human emotions, and you got to give them that. So, but then they get up, and then she goes into power love. I can't remember in what order it is, but then it's like, oh, I'm in love with the guy on the next planet who turns out to be insane because he's been on the planet forever because of the time thing, and he wants to. It's all kind of confusing. He wants to take the human spores and spread them himself and doesn't want to have anything to do. There's room on the ship for everybody. I don't know what his problem is. I think there is. I don't know. They could have figured out a way to get him there. But anyway, he causes them all kinds of problems, and then it still ends up there's a problem because of this woman. You know, like, why would they keep making her be the one? And they're just like, hey, you're the one that's making us do all these things. You know, they go back to the poor guy in the spaceship. He's been there for like 24 years because this woman tried to pick up a scrap of spaceship out of the swimming pool, and he's like, what? Oh, 24 years? You got to be kidding me. That was horrible. What are you guys doing to me? Oh, it's Woody Harrelson. Was it Woody Harrelson? No, it's, oh, Matthew McConaughey. He's like, you know. And he has to make all these faces when they end up at the machine at the end of the machine that was built by us. Oh, who built it? I don't know. Who could have built this thing? Well, it was built by us. Well, how do they know it was built by us? Well, it's built for one period of time, and you're supposed to go through and find a way to communicate. So somehow you can thump on the bands of time with your hand, thump, 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 and you can make stuff move like books. So books fall out of this bookcase into a room where his daughter's at that he hasn't seen and he won't see because this woman has wasted all this time, and his daughter's like, where are you? You said you would be back, you son of a bitch. Anyway. Oh, so that gets me on to the rest of my story. Which is, so then I get online because I'm going to kind of watch this Japanese, sort of like a thriller, and then it kind of turns into almost like a horror movie, and not the other one with the guy in the underwear wearing a cow head, and this woman has milk coming out of her boobs, and then the one guy who's the Japanese mafia guy tries to have sex with this guy that he was supposed to kill, but the guy turns into this woman, but the woman has the guy inside of her, so when he has sex with her, the guy's hand inside of her grabs his wiener and won't let go. Let go, no, let go, yes, no. Not that movie. It was another movie, although I did watch that one. And so I'm on Amazon. Oh, and I figured out finally how I could easily pick movies inside my Amazon account, add them to the thing, and then they would show up on a TV set. There had to be a way to do it, and there was. Let's go right to the records. That was a roundabout way to get to the records. All right. At half price, full price, super high price books, but I didn't even go to Jim. I'm like, just not going to do it. I'm still kind of loaded up. And I didn't even really to go do it. Anyway, surprisingly enough, why they missed this one and they put it in the super high price section is probably an American contemporary, avant-garde, orchestrated chamber ensemble and 2/4 tone pianos. I think I may actually have it. Oh, Charles Ives, one of the composers, apparently. This one I think I also have. I don't know if I have it or not. I don't know if I'll... It's computer music, okay. From when? Is there a date on it? You're dragging it out looking for the date. It's not important, is it? Does anybody care what the date is? So I had the time to look these up. I'm like, yeah, what's this? That looks interesting. You know, dollar section, kind of like, it's probably going to be like Kansas. And sure enough, it's actually kind of a 1974 band called Graphon, or is that, I don't remember. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything because as soon as I say something, it's like, well, what, you don't have any good taste or nothing like that. I love those guys. But it was kind of like Kansas. Back in 1979, 78 or 79, I got tickets to see, and I never went anywhere because I couldn't afford it. I was in college. But Ronnie Montrose, remember Montrose? They had an album out, and it was kind of a hardy, rocky, kind of a hard rock thing. And so I got tickets, and I go there, and they canceled. They go, well, we're not going to give you your money for your tickets back. Like a kid, I go, well, what do you mean I can't have my money? And, well, we'll honor your tickets at another show. And so the next show that I could spend my ticket on was for the band Kansas. Like, oh, you got to be kidding me. It was the worst show ever. Unless you love Kansas, then it was the best show ever. Another one that looked like it might have had 1976 band Vision. What was it? Is it jazz? This has been a week now. I don't even remember. I mean, and this one I think was also like didn't turn out. It was a nice cover. See, it's better if I don't look at these and come down and talk about them because I'm a lot more excited. I have more enthusiasm and good cheer when I share these records when I don't know anything about them. Oh, look, the woman. It's a great photograph. She's a pretty woman. She's sitting on the cover. This could be great. Probably not. Oh, look, a lounge record with jazz musicians. This will be rare and it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be a horrible record, but it's not actually rare. It looks like a private press knockoff, but there's plenty of copies. Now, this one, it came in the mail, and I'm just going to tell a story without mentioning the names, but it came from a record store that I actually know exists. Never been there. But just because another YouTuber goes there, I know, and so I ordered the record, won it on an auction on eBay. It's a copy of the record I've been looking for quite some time. Always just goes a little bit more than Miniport wants to pay, but I got this one. I hope it plays okay. I don't know. I haven't put it on. Anyway, so it comes, I go, oh, where? It came from this state. Like, I kind of know that. No, I don't know that state, but I know people. So it comes like, oh, that's the guy from the, and I open it up. And it's not in a plastic sleeve. And there's one folded piece of foam right in the middle of it to sort of keep all the contents from rattling around on the inside. No cardboard protection, no plastic sleeve, a little piece of foam folded up, not even wide enough to cover the whole. If you stretched it out, wouldn't even cover the corners, gone to edge to edge in the box. This is a brick and mortar record store shipping stuff like this. You've got to be kidding me. Anyway, it's the Twilight Zone, the Marty Manning and his orchestra Twilight Zone album. It's probably on YouTube, and if I put a sample of it on, which I might do, just to see, it probably will be banned worldwide. You know, it's got to be popular. I don't know. I might do it. What the hell? Oh, okay. There you go. That was great. I hope nobody gets sick this year. That's it. I pray that nobody gets sick. I should make that a resolution. I can make it a resolution to pray for people. That'll be great. I think I'll do that. I'll do that. That won't cost me anything.
Thank you.